everyone, it's me, Mrs. Gillen, and I'm back with Varjak Poor by S.F. Said, and I'm on chapter 6, so I'll read this in 2 parts. So far, Varjak and his grandfather, have gone against the rest of the family because they fear that the Contessa, who owns the house that they live in, has died or something terrible's happened. A man has arrived with some very strange behaving cats that are quite menacing. The family feel that things are okay because the man's feeding them, but Varjak and his grandfather are not so sure. And at the end of chapter 5, Varjak witnessed a really horrific fight between his grandfather and the 2 cats that are a bit suspicious, and he has climbed the wall that keeps the cats in to the Contessa's garden. So, chapter 6. Varjak could see for miles and miles. There were no walls or trees to block his view anymore, just open space rippling out ahead of him. Beneath him, above him, he was standing in space, and it was a long way to fall. It must be so weird after being inside all that time. He peered down the inside of the wall. He could see nothing through the trees. The gentleman's cats and the elder Paul were hidden by the tangled net of branches. There was no way back. He was truly on his own. Had he done the right thing? Shouldn't he have helped his grandfather? He couldn't get that picture out of his mind. The elder Paul limp like a broken toy. Tremors were coming up from somewhere deep within him, racking him open. Varjak blocked them, stopped them, pushed them back down. The elder Paul knew what he was doing. He'd planned it. He was willing to lay down his life so Varjak could have the chance to go outside and find a dog. All he could do now was go on, but where? Ahead of him was the sea of lights stretching far away into the darkness. Varjak couldn't tell what they were or where they led. He looked up. Another sea of lights, the moon and stars, cold and distant. They made him giddy in the pit of his stomach, so dizzy that he could almost feel the walls slip out from under him. He closed his eyes and counted to 10. It didn't work. The view was too big. He was too small. A purebred Mesopotamian blue had no place on top of a ball. But then, as his family said, he wasn't much of a blue. So who was he? Beneath the giant sky, he was no one. He was nothing. Varjak's stomach lurched. He was going to be sick. If he stayed on the wall much longer, down, he had to get down and quickly. The black cats would be looking for him, but how? He couldn't climb down the wall. It was sheer. He'd overbalance and crash if he tried. There was a tree outside the wall, just one. He could climb down a tree if he could only make it that far. He stretched out a paw, his pad zipped on the wet moss and the cloak stone, and he clung on to with his claws and regained his balance. A blast of bitterly cold wind almost pushed him over the edge. Another wave of giddiness washed over him. The wind seemed to taunt him with its song. Too high, it sang, too high, too soon. Varjak tried to shut it out, but the song was everywhere. You've gone too high now. Too high, too soon. You'll never make it to that tree. He ignored it, positioned his tail for extra balance and took another step along the mossy stone. It was like walking on ice, treacherous, impossible. In his mind, he saw himself slip, slide and skid off the wall, smashed into pieces on the ground below. He shuddered. Think of something else, he told himself. Think of the way. What was it? Slow time. Moving circles.